this final chapter, we've been discussing how we're going to build the future we want. And we've talked about a peaceful world. We've talked about global ethics. We've talked about the new kinds of governance. But now I want to talk about you. You, the students, you, the young people who very soon will be leaders in your communities, in your nations, the generation that will be really grappling with this great challenge of sustainable development. And of course, I'm counting on you to be great leaders and champions for all of the bold objectives we have been discussing in this class: ending poverty, creating a fair society, protecting the natural environment, and making peace and global cooperation. So in this chapter, I want to discuss with you how you can get engaged, not only in the future, but also today. So many questions arise, and I'm sure that they are on your mind. To be engaged in sustainable development, what should you be studying in addition to this class? If you're going on to university, what subjects will be most relevant for taking on the challenges of sustainable development? What kind of job of the future will be a kind of job in which you can help to solve these problems, whether it's in your communities or in a particular sector of the economy, or in politics, or in research, or in other areas that may really engage and excite you. I'm sure you'd like to know, what can you do today as a young person, as a high school student, as somebody just embarking on the study of sustainable development? And where can you join with others in this great activity? Because I think it's clear from our discussions, we're talking about a worldwide effort, and we're talking about an effort in which partnerships of all kinds are absolutely essential for success. So let me start with a little bit of advice. What should you study? Well, the most important answer is you should study what you are interested in, because when it comes to sustainable development, so many areas of knowledge are relevant. So many parts of society are relevant. I'm a professor at a university, and that's relevant, I believe, but so too is being a politician, or being a business person, or being a community leader, or a member of civil society. There are many ways to be engaged in sustainable development, and one of the points I've been emphasizing is this is a multi-stakeholder challenge, meaning, yes, it involves government. Yes, it involves business. Yes, it involves academia. Yes, it involves civil society. Yes, it involves each of us as individuals, or as family members, or as members of our local community. Now remember, as we have been stressing, sustainable development involves systems of systems. The Earth system, the physical system of the climate, for example, or the hydrologic system, the way that water circulates on Earth. The engineering systems of fiber that bring us the internet, or of our transport networks of road and rail and air connectivity and ocean shipping, or our political and economic systems, how our governments are formed, how national governments interact with other nations within treaties or at the UN or in regional bodies, and of course how the global economy works. And as we've been emphasizing from the very start of this course, the economy is an interconnection across large distances through trade and the flow of ideas and the flow of finance. Now, any of those areas is relevant for study of sustainable development. The sciences, engineering, medicine, public health, agriculture, economics, politics, history, the behavioral sciences such as psychology, business, or public administration, just to name some. Any of those areas is a great entry point for expertise so that you can be a leader in sustainable development. One thing that I have found to be wonderful and exciting is to know a bit across these different systems, to know enough of the sciences to understand the challenge of climate change, to know enough about the engineering to understand what we might do about it to reach a zero carbon energy system, to know enough about the economy to understand how market forces can help us or sometimes hinder us from getting to the kind of energy system we need, to understand enough of politics to know the obstacles to political consensus or the ways to arrive at public investments of the kind that we need, and on and on. So knowing some of the sciences, the engineering, the social sciences, and the behavioral sciences, that's really sustainable development. Understanding that we are in an interconnected global scale system of systems. But the bottom line is study what interests you, but keep your eyes open to all of those interconnections. What about a job of the future? If you are interested in helping to lead to solutions, does that mean you should be a professor, or that you should be a business person, or that you should be a politician, or that you should be a community leader? Well, I would say the answer is yes. What interests you? And of course, at the stage of life where you are, a young person looking and thinking, what am I going to do with my life? You have time to decide, to look around, to try different approaches. But again, the point that I would emphasize about sustainable development is that it is a kind of all-in effort of society, our own nations, our own cities, our own communities, but also how we interact with others, whether it is across national governments or in the context of the United Nations, where I spend a tremendous amount of my time, or within the regions where you live in different parts of the world where governments have already gotten together, such as in the European Union or the African Union or ASEAN in Southeast Asia, or Mercosur in South America, or in other places where governments have realized, hey, we better deal with our neighbors because we are interconnected and we need solutions that go beyond the national scale. So there's so many jobs that will be relevant. And again, follow your interests most importantly, because it is through the excitement of what you're doing that you will find the energy and the determination to keep investing in knowledge, to do the hard work, to face the inevitable confusions and obstacles that have been part of the story of the Sustainable Development Challenge for decades. It's not a simple path. We're climbing a pretty steep mountain with lots of twists and turns, but there are many, many ways to be a constructive and indeed leading part of that global effort. But another point, you don't have to wait till you're a university graduate or in your career to get started now. as we have been emphasizing through many different activities in this course, there are things you can and should be doing now. Is your school sustainable? Is your school using renewable energy? Is your community looking to the energy transformation or to climate safety? As a class, have you met with your mayor or local government to discuss these issues? Have you in your classroom had the chance to work with the teachers and school officials to discuss sustainable development within your school itself? Have you looked at the energy, at the waste recycling, at the other uses of resources to determine whether your school is operating according to the precepts of environmental sustainability and sustainable development more generally? I'm a big believer that we need already your voices and your ideas and your engagement and your politics. Of course, learn your politics in the school, in your community. Learn how to negotiate and to deliberate and to work with others to solve problems, how to raise issues with respect, with evidence, and with solutions. And all of this is something that already you can do. And I'm sure that you can help your communities understand the Sustainable Development Goals and their relevance for your parents, your family, your neighborhoods, your local community, your city, your metropolitan area. And your voices will be very, very important in that effort. Wonderfully, there are ways to join together with other young people within your schools, within your communities, and indeed across the world. I'm very lucky and honored to be leading a global network of universities and think tanks and young people that have come together to work on solutions. The UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, which has helped to bring you these classes, is a worldwide network, and it includes a strong SDSN, Sustainable Development Solutions Network, youth movement. And you can join the SDSN youth movement. And this course will give you the ways and means to make contact with SDSN youth and to find ways that you and your friends and your fellow classmates can be part of this global movement. SDSN works on creating and supporting and promoting networks of volunteers, networks of action, and connections across the world. For example, in the youth movement, but also in our Global Schools program. And I know that some of you are right now in classes in the Global Schools. Global Schools is a volunteer effort around the world in which schools have, and individual teachers, and sometimes entire schools, have taken up the challenge of the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is a volunteer effort, and it has spread all over the world, and you can help it to spread further. So Global Schools is another example. And another that we are very, very proud of at the Sustainable Development Solutions Network is the SDG Academy. The SDG Academy is an effort, and this course is part of it, to bring high quality learning and new and innovative educational materials to learners all over the world. The SDG Academy offers free access to many world-leading experts on many of the subjects of sustainable development. You just have to go to the SDG Academy website, and that's one of the exercises for your class, to get on that website and to look at the range of courses, and for you to sample some of those lectures and look at the classes that would be of interest to you as you delve even more deeply into the topics of sustainable development. So the SDG Academy is a wonderful initiative, and I'm so grateful to fellow professors around the world and academics around the world who have worked very, very hard with our wonderful SDG Academy team at the Sustainable Development Solutions Network to create this very wide-ranging and ever-expanding set of courses and advanced training materials, all free for you and fully accessible online. And just to finish and to conclude, in fact, our time together in the ages of globalization, our theme from the beginning is that humanity is interconnected. We started from a common origin, a common evolutionary path, a common migration from Africa 70,000 years ago. Modern humans spread across the world and inhabited all of the ecological niches across the world, the mountains and the river sheds and the coastal areas, the steppelands, the tropical rainforests that we have been visiting in this class. And those interconnections have been there from the first days of long-distance migration on rafts or on foot. And now those interconnections, of course, are instantaneous as 5G or 5.5G. Super rapid digital interconnectivity brings us together across the world. And you are now part of that global family, a global family of humanity that is learning about and aspiring to help achieve sustainable development. That is the network across the world to build the future we want. The UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network is itself now a network of more than 2,000 universities, think tanks, civil society organizations, and other groups in society working together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. It is the promoter of this course. It is the promoter of the interconnectivity of all of the different parts of society. Now you are part of it, so I ask you to join hands, join with others in your communities, but also across the world as part of this family of organizations and institutions in the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network, so that we can all work together for the prosperity, the social justice, the environmental sustainability, and the peace and cooperation that we so much need and so much want. Together we can build the future we want.